Hey guys, what's up? This is another version or another episode of Migs Musts. This is like actually Ep 3 of Migs Musts. Ako po si Migs Bustos and welcome to my YouTube channel. And please do subscribe sa YouTube channel natin. YouTube channel ko, youtube.com/migsbustos. Of course, salamat in advance for helping me grow this channel, this page. And this is something new, as I've mentioned, that I've been doing maybe a couple of weeks back. It's called Migs Musts. And for this third episode, it's called Must Pay It Forward. Must Pay It Forward. Okay, so must pay it forward. I just would like to thank, sorry, hindi ko na natandaan kung sino yung nagsabi sa IG Live na sabi na, Migs, gawa ka naman ng pay it forward. So, I'm doing something now in relation to that aspect. And na-realize ko na ang laking bagay pala nung pag-pay forward. Yung term na pay it forward para sa akin in my life and in my career. Of course, pay it forward is a term. It's commonly known as a term to be able to share, to be able to, kung anong nakuha mo, ipapasa mo rin sa iba. And maybe the first, common example of that is our parents. Diba? Pinalaki nila tayo, diba? Inalagaan nila tayo. Kung ano yung na-experience nila sa buhay, pinapasa nila sa atin. And maybe that is one common example, maybe overlooked example of when it comes to paying it forward. And of course, we have to thank our parents, our siblings, our relatives, and our elders for guiding us, diba? On the best practices in life. But when it comes to, let's say, paying it forward in terms of my career and what I've experienced in life, I wouldn't have achieved what I wanted to pursue, or maybe the best practices that I've applied with comes to my career kung walang tumulong sa akin. And in return, up until to this day, kilala ko yung mga taong tumulong sa akin. Dami. From my producers, from my colleagues, from my elder colleagues, from the ones that I really get to talk to. And what I've realized in my work, or at least in the world, is number one, hindi ka nila kakausapin. Sabihin natin meron kang maling ginawa. Hindi ka sasabihin ng tao if he doesn't care for you. That's true, alright? Kasi usually kung wala kang pake, if you're like, real talk lang, diba? If you see someone, or maybe if there was a judgment passed on someone, if you truly cared about the person, you would actually go out. You would actually go out and like muster strength to be able to tell that person na parang, uy, ito yung napansin ko. But generally, right? Di naman natin yun sinasabi. Number one, maybe I don't wanna mind his own business. I don't wanna tell him how to do his job. Or number two, di ba? I don't wanna drama. Di ba? Baka mag-away pa kami. Or number three, baka parang, I don't care, right? But for the people who have always critiqued, right? I don't mean that in a bad sense, in a bad tone, right? But sa una kapag makakakuha ka ng criticism or maybe observation, sa una, di ba, hindi naman tayo sanay, maybe as a culture, hindi naman tayo sanay na napagsasabihan eh. Hindi naman tayo sanay na pagsasabihan ng pagkakamali. We may be defensive, pero at least with what I've experienced in my work life, I would take it in. Pero some part of me is like, masakit pala yun. Pero hindi sasabihin yun ng tao na nagsabi sa'yo kung hindi ka na iniisip. If he doesn't care, he or she doesn't care about you. Or if ayaw kanyang gumaling. Or if ayaw kanyang mag-improve. So for me, I'm just doing this. Iniisip ko lang to on the fly, on what it means. And iniisip ko yung paying it forward is not just by, acts that we see on Instagram, on social media, or the things that we see that, paying it forward, sharing is caring. But maybe this is my version of paying it forward. The people who have helped me in the industry, they would usually tell me my mistakes. And that would make me become a better anchor, better sportscaster, better analyst, better at what I do. Because if hindi ko pinagdaanan yung pagkakamaling yun, paano ako magiging mas magaling? Paano ako magiging better? And for me, that is paying it forward, because for them to be able to tell me my mistake, ibig sabihin kahit paano napagdaanan nila yun. It may be unconventional, di ba? Unconventional way of paying it forward, or definition of paying it forward. But I remember when I was starting out, the likes of sila Andre, Felix, sila Anton Rojas, they were the ones who guided me. Not necessarily critiquing me kung ano yung, or observing kung ano yung mga kailangan kong improve, but they were just generally there for me as being veterans in the industry. Like, they made me feel at home, feel welcome. That's one example. I would have producers like sila Biens, love you, like would always, and sila Kiko would tell me my, what I need to improve on, and all of my producers in the network that would tell me on how I should approach things. And malaking tulong yun dahil kung hindi ka nag-i-improve, hindi ka nag-grow. And looking back now, I would always be, I'd be thankful that they were there for me. And for me in return, paying it forward is not necessarily also having that cycle of criticism, etc. No, it depends on you on how you would take it and how you would share that knowledge to others. I've always enjoyed going to talks for universities. The last one, sa BSU, sa BULSU, Bulacan State University, pinapuntahan ko before the pandemic. Being able to share my experience and quote-unquote maybe knowledge in my young career in the industry. Being able to inspire, that's also one way of paying it forward. But also at the same time, I would give like observations or criticism to my younger colleagues. Medyo uncomfortable ako to be honest. Pero minsan siguro necessary yun. Especially kapag direct mong katrabaho, di ba? Just to be able to share what you know. At the same time, alam ko rin yung feeling na hindi mo naman yung sasabihin if you didn't care for the person. Now, maybe my point in this whole paid forward segment is it makes you become a better person. It makes you become a better career person. And mastering all the knowledge, getting all the knowledge and confidence, di ba? Kung hindi ka naman nagkakamali, hindi ka naman mag-i-improve di ba? Kung alam mo na lahat, baka nandito ka lang. Pero kung nagiging uncomfortable ka, kung nagiging content ka na sa isang level, maybe you're not improving, maybe you're not going up. So, for me, paying it forward is a big social lesson. I think it's a big factor, in life nowadays, especially ngayong lockdown, 'di ba? Na ngayon na we're all battling with our own fights, nilalabanan natin yung mga sarili nating battles. And malaking bagay yung maraming nakakatulong sa atin. Maraming definition of paying it forward. You name it. I just named one. But take it from that definition itself on how it has maybe impacted you as a person, how you impact others. And it is very essential to today because no one lives in an island anymore, di ba? Lahat tayo, kailangan natin ng tulong of some sort. Lahat tayo, kailangan natin ng lesson of some sort from another person. Kaya nang bahala kung sino makakapag-define nun. And for me, I've learned 3 things on 3 reasons why we must pay it forward. Number 1, feeling ko hindi ako madamot. Alright, when you pay it forward, hindi ko sinasarili yung na-experience ko. Bakit ka magsasarili? Ikaw na bahala. Ikaw na bahala kung anong reasons you want to be able to come up with if you keep it to yourself. Pero what's the point? But for me, ang point ko para hindi ako magdamot at para i-share ko kung ano yung mga hinihinging tulong or maybe advices is, yun din yung binigay sa akin diba? Lahat naman ng natutunan ko in life is natutunan ko rin sa iba. So bakit hindi ko i-share yun sa iba? Diba? I didn't pay for the wisdom. I didn't tell my friend, uy, bayaran kita, advisean mo ako. Hindi ko naman ginawa yun I mean, that doesn't happen in life. So, kung ano yung nakuha mo, diba? Kung ano yung nakuha mo, it doesn't feel right for you to be able just to take it all in, akin lang to, diba? It doesn't feel right. So for me, what goes, you also give. Similar with when we earn our paychecks. Diba? Hindi naman natin sinasarili lang. Nag-share tayo sa mga magulang natin. Binubuhay natin ang pamilya natin. Ano ba yung naalala ko dito? Na song na to? Well, I learned this in grade school. Walang sino man ang nabubuhay para sa sarili lang. If you can sing to that too. And number 2, leads me to number 2, is nakakatulong ka. I would have conversations with people I met online. Through sports industry, di ba? Marami naman tayong nami-meet na online connections ngayon. And they would, it is flattering to get to know my story. And hindi ko pala alam sa pag-share ko ng kwento, marami ka palang natutulungan. Malaking bagay yung for me na nakakatulong because I've learned it also from my dad. Daddy ko is a contractor. Marami siyang mga tao sa construction industry. And especially kapag Pasko or especially kapag, nakaka-achieve ng milestone sa trabaho, sinishare niya kung ano man yung gusto niyang i-share. Whether if it's food, bonuses, etc. So, subconsciously, nakuha ko yun. I believe na nakuha ko yun sa dad ko na makatulong at makapag-share. Ngayon, hindi naman tayo santo na lahat na share natin. But that basic idea of just helping people in the best way we can, hindi naman kailangan pere. Hindi naman kailangan material things, di ba? In my case, hindi naman yun yung case ko I mean, hindi naman ako mayaman. Wala naman akong pera. Di ba? Hindi naman maraming pera ko. Pero siguro in the best way I can to be able to share my experiences, to share what I've learned, and to be able to tell that to others, my story to others. It's because I've learned all these things from others. And the feeling of fulfillment, the feeling of joy to that person that you're talking to na parang, wow, Migs, salamat. Dami kong natutunan dito. Alam mo kung bakit ko yun alam? Kasi I was also once in that position. I would say, uy, thank you I would say that, uy, thank you partner Thank you, brother. Ang dami ko natutunan sa'yo. So, I know what it feels to be helped. And for me, malaking bagay din sa akin yung makatulong because, you empathize it. You know the feeling. And number 3, leading to this, top 3 reasons why it feels good to pay it forward. Cheesy as it sounds, you're making the world a better place. Totoo yan, You achieve world peace. You make the world a better place. Perhaps we've heard of that phrase over and over. Pero totoo eh. The more that you encourage positivity, the more that you encourage helping each other out, it inspires 1 and it multiplies to 2, to 4, to 8, to 16, to maybe 100. And for me, I want to encourage this culture of positivity and culture of giving. Culture of paying it forward. Culture of paying it forward. And by that, if you get to influence 1, as I mentioned, if you get to influence 1, maybe that other person can influence multiple. But that other person wouldn't get that if you had not encouraged that in the first place. Do the math, do the formula. So if you actually make the world a better place, and especially during these times, it will be more bearable to live in. Especially during ngayon, na lahat tayo, meron tayong mga paghihirap, financial man yan, mental man yan, social man yan, love life man yan. Simple acts of kindness, simple acts of generosity, right? Again, it doesn't have to be monetary, diba? Just by giving your time, just by giving your effort, that is an act of generosity. That is an act of paying it forward. And if you actually get to practice that every day, who knows? We are being that person already. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a preacher. I'm not saying that, I'm perfect at this. I'm still a work in progress. And I wouldn't say that I'm perfect ever, even if I'm 80 or 100, if I get to live to 100. Because I'm a believer of learning every day. Diba? No matter if you're 30, I'm 32 now. No matter 32, 50, 70, you will always learn something new every day. And that is something that I want to imbibe sa akin, sa sarili ko, sa pamilya ko, sa anak ko, sa magiging anak ko, and maybe to the next generation. Learn something new, paying it forward every day. It's just going to be a continuous cycle, right? If you actually get to influence that. You don't need to be a social media influencer. You don't need to be an actress. You don't need to be somebody to be able to be a positive influence. Diba? You don't have to have followers. Perhaps, itong ang video na to, baka ilan lang ang manood? 1, 10, 50? I don't mind. But as long as, if there's at least 1, ito legit to just at least 1 that gets to be inspired by this, okay na sa akin yun. Kasi yung isang yun na may inspire na to, sana ma-inspire siya at baka pay it forward din siya sa community niya. For me, that's enough. And, all these things, I didn't read this in books, diba? All these things, I just learned in life. And now, I'm paying it forward by making this video just to be able to share. And hopefully, it creates a positive impact. Alright? So thank you guys. Thank you for joining us here again on Migs Musts. So for this time around, it's must pay it forward. Please do let me know kung ano pang mga must, ang mga gusto ninyong mapanood, ang mga gusto ninyong ma-share ko. Kung ano man yun, join in on the conversation. Let's be collaborative. Ano man yun, kung ano man ang mga naisip nyo, go ahead, type it away, and paying it forward. And of course, being able to create inspiration and positivity to others. Alright, so this is Migs Musts for Migs Musts. Please do subscribe on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/MigsMustos. Thank you guys, stay safe and God bless. Ingat po tayong lahat.